last 100 years, vegetable oil consumption has absolutely skyrocketed in the Western world. Soybean oil alone makes up 20% of the calories in the average US diet. But is this a good thing? Is vegetable oil really the healthiest choice out of all the oils? Or is the risk of consuming these oils a lot higher than the reward? Stay tuned to find out. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name's Kate, I'm a health coach and I post videos on a high-fat, nutrient-dense way of eating. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, feel free to share, and make sure to subscribe. And also make sure to follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, where I share new posts every single day. Let's start off by talking about what vegetable oil is. It isn't actually as straightforward as you would think. The label of vegetable oil is actually really misleading because none of the oils that fall under this category actually come from vegetables. The dictionary defines vegetable oil as a type of oil that is derived from plants. But most of the time when we see vegetable oil on labels or when it's referenced, it is specifically plant oils that are high in polyunsaturated fat. So not all plant oils, but we'll get to why that's important in a second. Oils that fall under this category are canola, soybean, rice bran oil, sunflower oil, safflower oil, cottonseed oil, grapeseed oil, and peanut oil. So when I refer to vegetable oil in this video, these are the oils I am talking about. So what's wrong with these oils? As I said before, these oils are high in polyunsaturated fat. There are three main types of fat: polyunsaturated, monounsaturated, and saturated. All foods that contain fat contain some combination of all three. The main difference between them that is important for today's purposes is that they all react to heat, light, and oxygen differently. When fat reaches a certain temperature, it oxidizes. Consuming fat that is oxidized creates free radicals within your body. Free radicals are atoms that have one or more unpaired electron. These electrons go around trying to make themselves whole again by taking electrons from healthy cells. It pretty much causes a chain reaction of cells damaging other cells within the body. It is no wonder that autoimmune conditions such as asthma, arthritis, and Hashimoto's have become so common. We don't want to be consuming fat that causes free radical damage. Saturated fat is the most stable. It is the most resistant to oxidative damage. Saturated fat is solid at room temperature, so you can think of things such as butter, ghee, coconut oil, and tallow. Monounsaturated is less heat stable. It will oxidize easier than saturated fat will, and this is oils such as olive and avocado. And last up, we have polyunsaturated fat. This type of fat is not stable. It is the most prone to becoming oxidized. And you might think, okay, well, if I don't heat it, it's not a problem. The problem is it's already been heated. These oils have to go through extreme temperatures when they're being processed just to be removed from their plants. They literally go rancid during the processing, and then they are stripped of their smell and flavor, which is why they are just so bland and flavorless. Why do they have to be heated so much, you might be asking? Well, think of the plants they're coming from. So let's compare it to something like an olive. To get the oil out of an olive, you can literally squeeze it with your bare hands and oil will be released. There is very little processing that has to go into extracting olive oil. Now, let's compare it to corn. How hard would you have to squeeze corn in order to get the fat to release? I don't know about you, but I'm not that strong. It takes a lot of machinery and a lot of processing to separate the oil from corn. And then if you are heating them when you take them home, it makes the problem even worse. They oxidize further. If you are consuming these oils, you are going to be suffering free radical damage. Free radical damage is the root cause of several modern-day diseases. But it doesn't end there. Vegetable oils are also really high in omega-6s. Both omega-6 and omega-3 are essential. We need to be getting both of them in through diet, but too much omega-6 can be a problem. This is because both omega-3 and omega-6 are converted by the body using the same pathway. So if you are eating a lot more omega-6 in comparison to omega-3, less omega-3 is going to be converted and used by the body. You want your ratio of omega-6s to omega-3s to be as close to 1-to-1 as you possibly can. Anything under 4-to-1 is considered good though. But some vegetable oils are as high as 700-to-1 omega-6 to omega-3. For corn oil, it's 46-to-1, and for soybean, it's 16-to-1. The typical American is averaging a ratio of 20-to-1 every single day. High omega-6 and low omega-3 causes inflammation. And if your balance is always out of whack, you become chronically inflamed. Chronic inflammation is the root cause of almost all modern day diseases. Heart disease, cancer, diabetes, and arthritis, to name a few. It can also lead to obesity and IBS as well. Now, if I haven't scared you off vegetable oils yet, I have one last bombshell to drop. Because of the way vegetable oils are processed, trans fat is created. And I'm not even talking about hydrogenation, which is when trans fats are added on purpose. The chemicals and heat that these oils are exposed to during the processing causes trans fats to be formed. And one scary fact is that if trans fats are less than 0.5 grams per serve, they don't have to be listed on ingredients labels. The ingredient label can say 0 grams and it can still have some trans fat. A serve of vegetable oil is probably only a teaspoon or a tablespoon. So even 0.4 grams of a teaspoon is a decent amount. Even if it is only a trace amount though, any amount of trans fat is too much. For every 2% increase in calories from trans fat, your risk of heart disease is nearly doubled. Trans fat is also highly associated with an increased risk of dementia. So if these oils are so terrible, why are they used? Why are they so readily available? We only really started using these oils in cooking and in food less than 100 years ago, which is just a drop in the bucket in terms of our existence. We started using them because they were cheap to produce and in turn cheap for the consumer to buy. As time went on, we started to consider them a healthy alternative to saturated fat just because they weren't saturated fat. They are often used in products to reduce the amount of saturated fat that's on the label while still getting the benefits of having fat in that product. We now know that saturated fat is healthy and does not increase disease risk, but the mainstream has been slow to catch up with that news. And the worst part about this all is these oils are in everything. I want to say close to 100% of processed foods contains at least one of these oils. These oils are also almost always used for cooking at restaurants. And even worse, vegetable oil is most commonly used for deep frying food. French fries at fast food establishments used to be fried in tallow, but these establishments made the switch to vegetable oil in the 90s because it was thought to be healthier. Read your labels and opt for products and foods that don't contain vegetable oil. So what oils and fats should you be using? Monounsaturated cooking oils and saturated fat. Like I said before, saturated fat is going to be the best for cooking. This can withstand the most heat. Monounsaturated, it's not as stable. It's probably best either used for low heat cooking or just used at room temperature. The fats you want to be using for cooking are ones that are solid at room temperature. Butter, ghee, duck fat, lard, tallow, coconut oil, palm oil are a few good ones you can use. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Let me know in the comments down below. Do you make a conscious effort to avoid these oils? What's your favorite type of oil or fat to cook with? Let me know down below, and I will see you next time. Bye guys!